Hey everyone, Dr. D here, and in this video I'm going to show you my home setup for tools that I've put together for learning about automotive technology, learning about how to fix my car. As you guys know, I've told you guys I'm taking a class this upcoming semester at Brookhaven College, and I'm learning a little bit about automotive technology, and with it I've acquired some tools. I've been working on my car, so let me get started. Let me just show you my home shop and what I put together so far. Keep in mind, I am a beginner and I have not ever really been a tool person in the past or known much about cars or how to fix them at all. This is all new to me, but I'm learning as much as I can, as quickly as I can. So to get started, this part of my garage has been relegated to my automotive aspirations. The rest of the garage is for family stuff. So this is what I'm working with here. Let's start with this guy. This is a creeper from Craftsman. This unfolds and allows you to lay on your back and scoot around the garage so you can get underneath the car, which is nice. That's a shop fan. This here is a jack. It's a 3-ton Daytona jack from Harbor Freight. It's actually really well built for the price. I do recommend it. Moving on over here, this black toolbox here is actually my home one. It's not really for any of my automotive stuff. The only cool thing on here, I guess, would be my sockets here. These are Craftsman sockets, 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch, and 1/2 inch, shallows and deeps. Okay, deep meaning, you know, longer, and shallow meaning more shallow, of course. These are SAE, which means inches. And what are they doing on my home cart? Well, as you know, or may know, SAE sockets are not used on cars much, so you know, I don't really need them all the time. But going over here, this is my main tool cart. It's US General from Harbor Freight. It's actually really decent for the price. I do recommend it. Over here, I guess on the ground, I've got a couple of jack stands. I've got some shop towels over there. I've got various fluids, lubricants and things, brake cleaner, etc., etc. I've got a couple masks on the left here. I've got flare nut wrenches. Okay, got these wrenches here. I've got this little grabber. Got some magnetic trays all over the place. You can never go wrong with those. Got some hand wash here, Fast Orange. It's great for if you can't wash your hands, but you know, you need them clean and get oil off of there. On the lid here, I do have a light. I'll show you. On the lid, I've riveted my ratchet set. I'm sorry, my wrench sets. I've got metric wrenches on the left. I've got SAE wrenches on the right. Look here, these all they're ratcheting wrenches. It's got very few skips, actually. It's a good set. It goes from 22 to 24, so it does have some skips, but not many. It's really, really handy. Over here, I've got my metric sockets, so I've got my 1/4 inch shallow and deep. I've got my 3/8 inch shallow and deep, and I've got my 1/2 inch shallow and deep as well. And notice that these are all 6-point sockets, because most of the fasteners you'll find on cars are 6-point, and these are less likely to cause them to round off and grind down, right? So it's pretty good. Back here, I've got a bunch of miscellaneous sockets, okay, Allen type sockets, or you know, Phillips head, flathead, you know, Torx sockets. I've got swivel extenders. I've got extenders. I've got all different lengths of extenders. I've got impact extenders. These are the really big sockets over here. These are sockets for lug nuts, removing lug nuts without damaging wheels, because they've got this plastic coating on here. On the left, I have these are long needle nose pliers. Then I've got all of these are flathead screwdrivers. Okay. On the left, on the right, I have all my Phillips screwdrivers. Okay. I also have some pry bars. Okay, I've got pry bars. What else do I have? Oh, this is kind of funny, actually. This is kind of neat. here I have something I picked up the other day. It's actually a bunch of 8mm sockets. It's every kind of 8mm socket you'd ever want. The big joke with mechanics is that the 8mm socket goes missing, right? Because all the fasteners are on cars, or a lot of them are 10mm, and so it's really easy to lose your 10mm socket. So I've got a bunch of extra ones here, all different types, shapes, and sizes. It's kind of funny. I picked that up at O'Reilly's. It was pretty funny stuff. But the rest of my sockets are all from Craftsman. I also have this breaker bar. This is a Pittsburgh breaker bar from Harbor Freight. It's actually really, really durable, really, really handy for breaking loose those stuck-on fasteners. Okay, up here I've got some Allen wrenches, metric and standard. I've got, these are some drill bits to drill through things, plastic or metal, different sizes. These are some Torx screwdrivers. These are some mechanic screwdrivers. They call them the 11th finger. Okay, or mini pry bars. These are really handy, really neat. Pick some up from Longo. All right, what else? I've got some markers, little screwdrivers. These are good for removing the rubber from around wires. Okay, I've got thread locker, blue and red thread locker here. Not much else going on up here. Over here I've got some impact sockets. I've got my charger. I've got my mechanics gloves. These are flashlights, magnetic based flashlights, which are really handy. This one's particularly cool because it flexes around. You can get it under the car. I've got my light here. What else? I've got, of course, hearing protection. I'm a big fan of Toyotas. I'm always working on my 4Runner. I've got more hearing protection, gloves, goggles, respirators, masks, right? All different kinds of masks. Like I said, fluids over here on the other side, more fluids, various types of things like motor treatment, carburetor cleaner, a WD-40. I've got a measuring tape here, silicone paste, brake grease, more of these little magnetic trays, power strip, USB. Okay, some extra motor oil here, wheel chocks, which are really handy. Down here I've got my torque wrenches, half inch and 3/8 inch torque wrenches. I've got some knee protection over there, a pump, that's an air pump, inflating my tires, gear puller, okay, funnels and things. All right, so let's look in the drawers. Okay, here I have my ratchets. Nothing too fancy. These are Craftsman, but they're not ratchets. These are like mini breaker bars. So this is when you got to put a lot of torque in there without destroying your ratchet. It helps when you don't have the most expensive ratchets in the world, right? So I've got half inch, 3/8 inch, and a 1/4 inch mini breaker bars, which are kind of neat to have. Then I've got my main ratchets. These are actually kind of neat. They're from Pittsburgh. They're from Harbor Freight. If you listen, they're actually really fine tooth. I think it's something like 72 or 80 teeth in there. So I've got a flex head half inch. I've got the standard half inch. I've got the flex head 3/8, standard 3/8, flex head 1/4, standard 3/4. Then I've got these hand-driven ratchets, which are really nice. I think they're called gimbal ratchets. I could be wrong, but they're actually pretty nice hand-driven ratchets. Okay, they're reversible. Really neat stuff. So that's as far as it goes with ratchets. Let's go to the next one down. We have some screwdrivers here. These are for Torx. We have some spark plug gauge, spark plugs for checking your spark plug gaps. This is something I'm going to put on the 4Runner. It's a quick release for oil, quick oil changes. Okay, then we've got a battery terminal cleaner, mirrors on a stick, which are really handy. These are gauges for testing brake pads to see if you have this much brake pad left, you're good. But if you only have this much brake pad left, you need to change your brake pads. So that's actually really handy. I used that to figure out if I needed to change my brakes, and then I went ahead and changed my brakes a couple weeks ago. A couple cutters, magnetizer. This thing helps you with rear brakes. Okay, here I've got it's a compression tester for just checking your cylinders compression. Here I've got my impact gun, 1/2 inch Milwaukee fuel. This thing is great. You use it with those impact sockets over there. It'll remove lug nuts and no problem. It's got a lot of torque. It's really good. And then I've got my electric ratchet, which is cool. 3/8 inch electric ratchet. Just testing the air pressure in my tires. Angle grinders, cheap angle grinder from Harbor Freight, and then a multimeter as well. What else? Here we got some more ratchets. More wrenches, ratcheting wrenches as well. See, I've got ratcheting wrenches here. Ratcheting wrenches, and these are flexing type from Pittsburgh. They come in handy. Sometimes you can't get in there with any other kind of wrench. Adjustable wrenches. These are for removing these clips for panels. These are also for removing panels from a car. This is also a panel remover for a car. Okay. Then we have this wrench. This is a oil filter wrench, removing oil filters from the car. That was handy when I did that a couple weeks ago as well. What else? Down here we've got punches, chisels, we've got different size ball peen hammers, we've got a mini sledgehammer, we've got a rubber mallet, we've got different kinds of small pliers here. This is a press to push the caliper back into its housing, the piston back into the caliper housing. I was using that a couple weeks ago with that brake change I did. Over here we've got channel locks. These are actually really nice. They work great. These Doyle channel locks, Doyle pliers from Harbor Freight are actually really nice. Nice channel locks. Okay, we've got side cutters, lineman pliers. Okay, then we've got a bunch of different pliers for removing hoses. We've got vice grips, large and small vice grips. These are for little springs, removing spring clamps, and more hose pliers. Okay, these are great for removing hoses from the car. All right, so that's that. And what else have I missed? I got some wheel chocks down here, some extra oil. This is great for catching oil for oil changes. More of these metal things. These are really good. Okay, I've got my paper towels here, shop towels. I've got my gloves, glove dispenser here. And again, like I said, hearing protection, eye protection, respirator, all of that stuff is very, very important as well. So that about covers the home shop, right? Again, keep in mind, oh, here I do have a few wrenches. These are really small metric wrenches. I keep them on this magnetic strip here. Also stubby metric wrenches. You know, all of these have a purpose and a little reason. A pick set and clasps there. All right, so I think that about wraps it up for my home setup here. Again, it's not the fanciest, but I am a beginner. I am really looking forward to starting this class in automotive technology, and I'll document and I'll keep you guys posted as I go along with updates and what I'm up to, projects I'm working on, tools I collect, any changes that go on there. All right, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this this tour of my home shop, and tune in next time.